Welcome in to week 15 of the BDE Fantasy League podcast. I'm Devin,
I'm Gifford.
and this is the week we start the playoffs. If you can't tell, I'm in a little bit of a somber mood. Last week was not great for me. I put up a small effort. It wasn't fantastic, but it was there. And Apple, he came through. He gave me a good match. He was down by about 13 going into Monday night. Just needed Kyler to put on a show. And within the first 5 plays, Kyler Murray went down with an ACL injury.
Yep.
Now, I'm not celebrating injuries or anything. I am hoping that he makes a speedy recovery.
You were going to celebrate that injury, no?
I wasn't going to celebrate. I was going to. I didn't want it to happen that way. Unfortunately, it did happen that way. I did win the match, but Tommy and James Conner came back and ended up defeating Brittany for that final playoff spot. Almost everything went right for me, but that's all right. That's not why we're here. We're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about all 6 of you guys that are in the playoffs. Congratulations to all of you.
It's hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
It is.
That's
It's
a wise.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
That's a wise man once said.
All right, so we'll go over our last week's predictions real quick. Last week, both of us actually chose me, Brittany, Gifford, Scott, and Tatani to win. Unfortunately, both of us got Brittany wrong. So thanks for that one, Brittany. That one, man. If you could have just won.
Stop bitching out yet. Stop bitching out.
Okay. Anyway, that brings me. Sorry, we went 4-1 last week. That means that I am 49-21, and Gifford is 47-23.
Yes.
Still, just 2 games separate us. We have 3 weeks left.
Yes.
This week, the semifinals and the finals for him to catch up to me. I sure hope he doesn't, but I mean, we'll see. This week we are choosing somebody different. So, you want to go over the first match?
So first off, we're gonna agree with Brittany versus Tatani. I just don't think Tatani has the firepower. If he was facing any other team this week, he probably would win.
Yeah.
But going up against Brittany, I think Brittany wins this week, and Tatani, you are going to be eliminated from the playoffs, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you, first off, Tatani. You are no longer the king of the consolation bracket. You are now the loser of the playoffs, if this happens as we expect it to. Both of us think that Brittany is going to take this one. She has just been the better team all year. Unfortunately, both of us lost to you, so we can't really say much.
Right.
But yeah, we hope that Brittany can take revenge against you for us. She can avenge us. Tatani, I think you are getting knocked out of the playoffs. The next matchup that we have is Omar versus Tommy. Now, in this one, Omar is the 3rd seed. He has been technically better all year. And Tommy, I've said it again and again, he's gotten lucky all year. And it's just ridiculous. And I don't think that stops now. I think that Tommy is going to continue on to the semifinals.
Man.
And it sucks. It sucks to say. Omar's wide receiver core is still really good. He still has Devontae Adams and Amari Cooper. They are still rolling along. I think they're 2 of the really good talents in the league. He has Travis Kelce, best tight end in the league by far. But right now they are 50-50 in predictions or projections right now. 50-50.
Just to change it up a little bit, I have to break ground on my 2-game, since I'm 2 games behind. So I'm going with Omar. Don't screw this up, Omar. I need you to win this week and eliminate Tommy. We all knew last week was a fluke, and this week it's going to show because Omar's going to win and eliminate you, Tommy, from the playoffs.
I like that. Okay.
Yes.
So actually, yeah, going through that team or the Tatani and Brittany match real quick. we have Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. That's a toss-up usually, but Patrick Mahomes has been solid. He's been so much better than Josh Allen.
And look at the team he's playing.
Exactly. Houston Texans. Sorry, we said it last week or the week before.
Yeah.
Low-hanging fruit. Houston, you're bad. Up next, wide receivers. Hollywood Brown, Terry McLaurin, and Elijah Moore versus A.J. Brown, Tyler Lockett, and Jamar Chase.
Clear advantage to Brittany.
No contest. Brittany takes this one.
Yes.
So 1-1. Dalvin Cook and Ramondre Stevenson, who may still be hurt, unfortunately, versus Isaiah Pacheco and Joe Mixon.
I think that is a toss-up.
That's a very good toss-up.
I think Cook has been personally very underwhelming this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's been scoring touchdowns, but the yards just haven't been there. And I really like Isaiah Pacheco. He runs hard.
Mm-hmm.
He runs over people.
And he's been scoring pretty well recently.
As a wise man once said, he runs through a motherfucking face.
Right, yes.
And I don't know. I think the running back matchup is 50-50.
I agree. If Stevenson is playing, I do think that the edge goes over to Brittany. But as of right now, as he's questionable, and it might have to be Cordell Patterson.
Or Cam Akers.
Or Cam Akers now. Congratulations on that pickup, Brittany. Oh, wow. Everybody was fighting for him.
Everybody goes back to their ex eventually.
Slow blows. But as of right now, I'm giving it to Brittany for running backs.
Yes.
Dalton Schultz versus Cole Kmet. I mean, tight ends are so up and down, and it's never something that you can give a 100% honest review.
I think Dalton Schultz is going to outperform Cole Kmet this week solely because the Chicago Bears are playing the one and only Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
So
it does come down to matchup for this one.
Yeah.
I would rather play Jacksonville than Philadelphia, and that's what Dalton Schultz is doing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give that one to Brittany. That is 3-1 on positions right now for Brittany. At flex, we have Mike Evans versus Kenneth Walker.
And at this point, it's looking like trash versus trash because it's looking like Kenneth Walker isn't going to do anything against the 49ers, as we can see right now.
This game's rough, man.
And Mike Evans hadn't had over 60 yards in the past 5 or 6 games. The Buccaneers are fighting for a playoff spot. Maybe he could get warm these last couple weeks, but that matchup right there is irrelevant for this week.
Yeah, this matchup doesn't matter. Both of them are going to get probably 5 points or so.
Yes.
Kicker, whatever, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Same with defense, honestly. I don't want to go over those, so we're not going to. So yeah, that's why I chose Brittany in that one. Next, real quick, Tommy versus Omar. Dak versus Derek Carr. Dak. Easy.
I would say Dak easy, and I agree Dak easy, but Dak is funky sometimes, so we'll see.
So is Derek Carr. Derek Carr can go off, but
Dak is more reliable.
Sticking with Dak.
Dak
That's
is
one
more
for Tommy.
for sure.
Garrett Wilson on the Jets, and Juju Smith-Schuster versus Adams, Cooper, T. Higgins, and that's it. I give that one over to Omar.
I agree. If T. Higgins is healthy, I think Omar has a very solid wide receiving core, but I also think Garrett Wilson has come on his own. I think Christian Kirk has been underrated all year, and Juju has had a productive season, so slight edge to Michael Malone.
Right. Cut check. You guys can go off at any time, those wide receivers, but they are inconsistent, and right now it's playoffs. You kind of need consistency.
Yes.
Running backs, Josh Jacobs versus James Conner versus Miles Sanders and Antonio Gibson. I honestly don't even want to go over this one. Josh Jacobs and James Conner have been top of the league for the past few weeks.
I agree. I think Tommy has the advantage there. Miles Sanders has been probably the biggest surprise all season. He's going to be on everybody's radar next year, if people want to believe it or not. But, yeah, Tommy has the advantage at that standpoint. Josh Jacobs leads the lead in rushing in 2022. Who would have thunk it?
At tight end, we have Tyler Conklin versus Travis Kelce. And once again, this is a no contest. Travis Kelce for Omar is the number one tight end, far and away. The gap between him and second place, Mark Andrews, is the equivalent of probably Mark Andrews to the 20th best tight end. It's insane.
I also agree, and I think the difference between Travis Kelce and Tyler Conklin could be the difference this week.
Yeah, honestly, those two right now they're projected for 10 points difference right now, with Conklin at 6 and Travis Kelce at 16.
Yes.
Good God, this man's like 40. Get him off the field. Jesus. All right, at flex we have Ezekiel Elliott versus Alan Lazard.
I think this is a trickier matchup than it may seem on paper.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe at the beginning of the year I would have thought so, but honestly, Zeke has been pretty consistent since the bye. He was injured for the Green Bay game, and then 17, 16, 16, and 15. And now they get Jacksonville. I think it's Zeke. I think it's Zeke here.
I think I genuinely think it's a toss up.
That's interesting. I mean, Lazard he's gone over 15 three times in this year. But I don't know. He can do it again. I'm not saying he can't, but I personally think that this one goes to Tommy.
Okay.
They are playing the Rams. Green Bay's playing the Rams.
Yeah.
On Christmas, by the way. Merry Christmas. This is a Christmas episode.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. They blessed us with such a shitty game.
3 shitty games. Yeah, no, we'll talk about that. But yeah, so that is the review of the quarterfinals between Tommy and Omar. I'm picking Tommy, as we said earlier.
Go Omar.
Go Omar. All right, we're going to go over our boom players of last week, but we will not be doing them for this week.
No point.
No point. It's the playoffs. We're all just focused on, well, 2 matchups this week.
Yes.
So last week, I chose for my quarterback Kirk Cousins. And, well, blew that one out of the water. He killed it. QB number 2 on the week. He had 35 points in a loss. But, it's pretty good. 35 points. I'll take that.
I'll take 35 points from, quarterback any week.
I would absolutely take that over here.
Alluding to Dak again against the Houston Texans, he had 15 and a half. Not a great performance. About middle of the road. QB 16.
Exactly middle of the road. Yeah,
Exactly.
32.
Yeah, so Dak was the definition of mid this past week.
Yeah, three letters in his name, 3 letters in mid.
Yes.
Yeah. At wide receiver, this is where it gets ugly for me, to say the least. I chose Godwin versus San Francisco, and I don't know if you watched that game, but it was not good for Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin finished with 7.9
I'm
points.
surprised he got 7.9 points.
Me too, honestly. I thought it was a lot lower based on his wide receiver ranking, which was wide receiver 40. He was 40th out of all the wide receivers. Oh my God, that's so bad. I feel really bad for that.
My pick was Tyler Lockett against the Carolina Panthers, and he was a wide receiver 18 that week. Got himself a touchdown, kept the streak going, so I won that matchup.
You were consistent with it, that's for sure.
Yes.
All right, wide receiver 18 for Lockett. At running back, well, another one of my guys, and another catastrophic failure. I chose James Cook versus the New York Jets, and this man got 2 points. He got 2 points on the week after blowing up the week before.
Yeah.
That's good for, let's see, running back 52. 52! That is worse than Chris Godwin at wide receiver 40. And
I can't
honestly,
think of 52 running backs in the league.
it would be tough. There were some weird names before James Cook. That's for sure. Pretty sure Travis Homer was ahead of them.
Yeah.
And he just had a fumble tonight, so
Yeah.
spoilers if you haven't watched this game.
Mine was Isaiah Pacheco, and he was RB19. Pretty solid. Got himself over 10 points. That's all
Yeah.
you could really ask for from a Kansas City running back.
Way to go, Rook.
Yep.
There you go. At tight end, keeping it consistent. He didn't do great. He was the tight end 10. I chose TJ Hawkinson. He had 8.7 points. I believe that's what I said he would get above 5 points, I think. So he did that. Tight end 10, TJ Hawkinson. Not much else to say.
My tight end this week was George Kittle, and if George Kittle played like he did last week, I would have won because he currently has 2 touchdowns. But past week, George Kittle had 4.8 points against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he was a tight end 17. So
Yeah, it would have
not
been
great.
it would have been a lot better if you chose him this week, but
Yes.
unfortunately that didn't happen. And unfortunately, he's playing the Seahawks this week and just absolutely killing us.
We'll make anybody look good.
Yeah, at the moment it's 21-6, and it's just about the end of the third quarter. Let us know how it ends, or don't, because I think I can tell where this is going.
It's embarrassing.
It's bad. It's real bad. Up next, we have our power rankings. And because the people out of the playoffs don't matter, we're not going to rate them. We're not going to rank them at all. So me, Apple, Zach, and Eric, fuck you guys. It doesn't matter. You're out of here. At number 6, a big change from what he has been the entire year, actually. And we're actually going to go over each roster because it is the playoffs. This is my man, Omar. Or, what is it? Michael Malone. He has Derek Carr at quarterback. We just went over all of this, so we're going to go quick. Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, T. Higgins, Miles Sanders, Antonio Gibson, Travis Kelce, and Alan Lazard. Those are his starters. It's not the worst, but also it's just not as electric as you would like. The past 2 weeks, he scored in the 70s last week, and then he scored about, 112 the week before?
Let's also mention here that Lamar has been hurt.
Lamar has been hurt, and he's still out this week.
The past couple weeks, and he's really needed Lamar.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he just hasn't had the help from his quarterback position.
Nope.
He's on a slide. I don't think that he can continue this way if he wants to make it through the playoffs.
Omar, since I need you to win, maybe you should think about Jared Goff at this point.
Yeah, he's been better.
Jared Goff has been playing really well lately.
Yeah, on that offense.
But don't take it from me. Don't take it from me.
All right, at number 5, we are pretty much keeping it pretty consistent from here. Tommy, you squeaked in. You squeaked into the playoffs. Luckily, you get the easiest matchup in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already went over your roster, so again, we're going quick. Dak Prescott, Christian Kirk, Garrett Wilson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Josh Jacobs, James Conner, Tyler Conklin, and Ezekiel Elliott.
Not a bad lineup.
It's not bad, but again, not what you want in a playoff roster. They haven't been that consistent this year, besides Josh Jacobs. He's been excellent, as we said. And it's just, it's hard to see you making it past, well, you're going to make it past the quarterfinals. It's hard to see you making it past.
You're not going to make it past the quarterfinals.
Ooh. Oh, right. You already said that. I don't think that you're going to make it to the finals, Tommy. This team is not a finals-worthy team, unfortunately. Josh Jacobs deserves it, but you do not. At number 4, I put Tatani. And Tatani, you've been pretty, I would say bad. I don't like your team. What? Do you have something else to add?
No. Tatani, you have an okay team. The way you play around with your receivers sometimes kind of confuses me, but we'll just go.
Yeah. We already went over the lineup yet again. Patrick Mahomes, Marquise Brown, Terry McLaurin, Elijah Moore, Isaiah Pacheco, Joe Mixon, Cole Kmet, and Kenneth Walker III. This team is good every once in a while. They can make it interesting, but the wide receivers are not there. Excuse me. I want to see something more out of this team, and that's why you are number 4.
You are number 4 because, well, first off, Kyler's out for the year. So, how's that going to affect Hollywood? Also, Elijah Moore is such a boom or bust. I really like Elijah Moore, but again, Mike White also got hurt last week. Is Zach Wilson coming back in? I don't know.
Yeah, Tatani, number 4. I think that's good enough for you. Next, we have at number 3, we're all in this together, and that is the wonderful, beautiful, amazing Brittany.
Wow.
I hope you win this week. I really want to see you win. I want to see you win this league.
Sounds like you want to slip something in her drink after this past week.
No, I want her to share the cash with me.
Ooh.
Anyway, we went over your lineup already, but again, Josh Allen, AJ Brown, Tyler Lockett, who's playing right now, doing well, 10 points actually. Jamar Chase, Dalvin Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, maybe hurt. Dalton Schultz, Mike Evans, and because you have somebody that might be hurt, I'm going to go over a couple options. Cam Akers and Cordell Patterson.
Slightly concerning.
That is a little concerning at this point. You are projected to win by about 20 in your matchup right now.
But we all know projections don't mean jack.
Projections mean jack shit. If they meant something, I would probably be like 10-4 and in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
yeah, don't rely on that. Let's hope for a good outcome. I'm hoping for you. I really want you to win, as I said. And this team has a lot of pop. AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Josh Allen, all three of those guys can easy put up like 25 to 30 points.
Yes.
And man, I want them to. Just everyone. I am legitimately concerned about who is going to beat Gifford in this league, and you have a legitimate shot. You got something to say? No.
No, I'm just knocking on.
Knocking on mobile.
Everybody's saying, oh, it's a foregone conclusion. It is not, and I'm gonna work hard these next 2 weeks to earn it.
Yeah.
To earn it.
Because he's out on the field. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Calling the shots.
I'm in the trenches. I'm in the trenches.
Anyway, so yeah, Brittany, you are in third right now, but
You're living vicariously through her.
absolutely I am. I'm upset that I didn't make it, but I'm not going to let that weigh me down. Honestly, my team should not have been this close, and we'll get into that. And
I said this like week 5. You were what I was last year, like nipping at the heels to make it in and not barely missing it. So
my teams turned scrappy at the end.
It was eerily similar.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yes,
it was tough. If that means that next year I can propel myself to first again.
Yeah, if you want to follow my pattern,
I'll take it. I'll
take the bullet. I'll go back down to 7th where I've been the past couple of years.
Easy. All right. At number 2, we have Dark Knight or Scott. Welcome to the bye week,
Vengeance,
buddy. You got a bye, and that's great for you. But are you going to be able to make it past the semifinals? That's the question. Right now you have Kirk Cousins. He's good. You never know what Kirk you're going to get. Last week he was QB2, but I'm pretty sure the week before he was like QB20 or something. He is so up and down. It's ridiculous. I don't trust him very much. Yeah, last week against the Jets, he had 13.8 points.
I don't think you like that.
No, past 5 games, he went 21, 2, 27, 13, then 35.
Definition of hot and cold.
That's rough. Amon-Ra, Keenan Allen, and Devonta Smith. Those 3 are, I would say, arguably just like Kirk. Devonta Smith, specifically. He is so up and down. You never know which Philadelphia receiver is going to go off. AJ Brown is usually that guy, but Devontae has his days.
I would say Amon-Ra has been pretty consistent.
Amon-Ra,
take a look at his numbers.
Yeah, he had a couple weeks after the injury where he was a little rough. Yeah, a couple. But, I mean, he's back to his regular self. Past 4 weeks, 11, 25, 31, and 10.
Yeah.
So he's been really good. I like him. And we already mentioned the Goffense. Jared Goff on that Lions team has been electric.
They've been saying the Detroit Lions are America's team right now.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. I mean, they were on Hard Knocks, and it was really fun to watch. I'm happy for them. Up next, Keenan Allen. He has been really solid for the past 4 weeks. I like it.
That man just somehow, whenever he plays, it's anywhere from 8 to 14 targets every game. It's ridiculous how many targets he gets.
It's great. He's been producing for years, and it's just nice to see.
Herbert really trusts him.
Yep. It's a foundation over there.
Yep.
On to running backs. Derrick Henry. I mean, not really out of the blue. The man's been amazing.
Top 3 in the league the past 5-6 years.
Yeah.
So.
However, the last 5 weeks have been a little concerning. 7, 26. 13 is okay. 4, and then 21 last week. So, again, like the other players on your team, they're kind of up and down.
The only thing holding back Derrick Henry is this trash offensive line.
Yeah. However, well, it doesn't matter this week, but he is playing the Chargers, so that should be easy for him to do well. Up next, you have Zonovan Knight, who has been, well, really good since he came into the Jets offense. He's had 11, 14, and 14, which is great for a rookie. That's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Brees Hall will probably give him his team back, or he will probably get his team back when he comes back, but Zonovan's making a case for himself, and that's really cool to see. Unfortunately, that does mean that James Robinson kind of got bumped down when he came over there.
Such a great start to the season. I feel so bad for James Robinson.
He had a great start to his career. I hope that James Robinson can come back and can kill it. At tight end, I apologize if I mispronounce this. Okonkwo. Okonkwo? That is the Tennessee tight end. He has been really good, actually, recently. I picked him up in a different league. Really good for a tight end.
Yes.
is like 5, 8, and 15 and a half in the past 3 weeks. That's pretty good for a tight end. So a waiver wire tight end that you can kind of trust. I like that. I like that pickup. He's going up against the Chargers, so that's fine. The only thing is you have Derrick Henry and Okonkwo. You have both of them, so yeah. How much scoring do you think Tennessee's going to do against the Chargers? That's what it comes down to.
Benching Saquon Barkley. Wow.
That is a curious thing.
I was always taught in this league not to bench your studs.
Yeah, start your stars.
And even with Nick Chubb having a drought right now, I'm still going to start him. It's Nick Chubb. I got to start him.
You don't sit him.
And
But
you're benching
honestly,
Saquon
it's either Barkley or Zonovan Knight or Christian Watson.
I think I would put Watson at one of the receivings and put Zonovan Knight at flex.
For who? There's Devonta Smith, Keenan Allen, and Amon-Ra. Like
At this point, I'm playing Christian Watson over Devontae.
I could see that. It's a definite toss-up, Scott. I do not envy you, but I mean, you're on a bye. You're on a bye, so
yeah. I'm not gonna take anybody. Saquon Barkley. I mean,
yeah, that's what you have to do. Up next at number 1, of course, been there most of the year, so no change here. We are now in the playoffs. That's the only difference. His name is now Slob on my Dob.
creative.
Very, yeah, I love it. It's great.
He doesn't
Gifford,
like it.
you are our number 1 team still, as we've said every week. At quarterback, you have Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year.
Yes.
As far as fantasy goes, I don't think he's good. I'm not saying that he's bad, but he is not a top 5 quarterback.
Name 5 quarterbacks better than him.
Brock Osweiler.
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy. Yeah, all the Brocks essentially. Yeah. So. Let's see. DK Metcalf.
No, go back. Give my boy some respect.
Joe Burrow is good. I already said that.
You said he's outside top 5.
Outside top 5 in real life. Yeah.
Name 5 quarterbacks better than him.
Mahomes, Josh Allen. I would put. Well, not this way.
Put Jalen Hurts in there. That's 3.
Yeah, Jalen. Who else? Aaron Rodgers. Still. Aaron Rodgers is still up there. Maybe not this year.
At the 19th, guys. Come on.
Why can't I think of anybody right now?
Because Joe Burrow's top 5 and maybe you can't accept it?
No, I don't think he is, man.
I think.
Why
are you so disrespectful to my quarterback? I already apologized last week for doubting Jalen Hurts.
Herbert's up there. Maybe he's top 5. Maybe top 5, top 6. He's right around there. That's wild. Where have the years gone?
Joe Burrow's a good quarterback.
No, I know, but like 2 years ago, he was. Damn.
Well, he got his receivers, and
years have slipped by.
he led his team to the Super Bowl.
No,
last year.
I'm not saying he's bad. Not once did I say that Joe Burrow is a bad
He's not
quarterback.
top 5.
Okay. This has gone on long enough, okay? Your team is good. We all know it. You don't have to defend
No,
every play.
I'm just defending Joe Burrow. I'm not defending the rest of my team. All right.
Okay, all right. DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, Josh Palmer.
He's
and
not starting.
Curtis Samuel. Nobody's starting. You have everybody on your bench.
No, but I'm starting.
And D-Hop.
Yeah.
You have 3 fantastic wide receivers. Like, it's ridiculous, man. How did this happen? Jesus. All right. At running back, Chubb and McCaffrey. Good
Wait, who?
God. Chubb and McCaffrey.
Oh.
McCaffrey has 20 points tonight against the Seahawks. We're now in the 4th quarter. It's still looking really bad. 21-6 still, them, 49ers. So, yeah. At tight end, we have... Oh, sorry, your other running back is J.K. Dobbins, who
Actually,
is now
yeah.
back.
Actually, I'm starting Tony Pollard over J.K. Dobbins.
And Tony Pollard.
I do have to.
Right, I completely skipped over him.
Yeah.
Because the bench is all weird. Yeah, anyway. At tight end, you again have a top 5 tight end, so that's cool. George Kittle, who is on a roll tonight, 23 points, so more than McCaffrey, actually. If you can't tell, I'm running out of steam. There's not much else I can say. The team is just ridiculous, and if nobody can stop him, what's the point anymore? You know? Speak your truth. Talk. Say something. Go ahead.
I'm Eggman.
You are Eggman. You'll never live that down.
And this is vengeance
This is gospel.
to every single egg that hit my thigh.
Every egg that didn't want to crack.
Every egg I took out
There you go.
and remembered it.
See, it feels good to give a speech about your team every once in a while. You know?
Yeah. You guys allowed this.
Yeah. So thanks everybody else in the league.
Yeah.
Man. God. This is out of everybody in the league. It has to be the guy that wanted to start a podcast with me. This is ridiculous, guys. We couldn't have had just anybody. You couldn't have done much better this year. Or Omar, man, I don't talk to you ever, so you could have at least done this. Nobody would have heard you talk shit. Tommy talks like 3 times in the year. He would have been fine. I don't want you to win, but, you could have. It just had to be him. I have to hear it every week while I'm struggling over here.
Yeah.
I wish we could have had the podcast years ago. Man, those 2 years that that would have been a fun time. That would have been a great time to be a me fan. But unfortunately we didn't. And
You know
we're
what,
here
guys? Every night before I go to bed, I take a long look at my phone and look at my team, and I pinch myself to make sure it's not fake.
And that, folks, is called roster baiting. His team is too good. Number 1 in the power rankings, Matt Gifford. Next up, we're just going to go into it. Bitching hour. I've done it the entire episode. It's the only thing that I have to say is, Tommy, what the hell, man? I thought we were friends.
Most points scored against you all season.
This is just ridiculous, man. I needed so much to go right. So the fact that I made it this far was incredible. I made it just 1 game from the playoffs. 1 little game, 10 measly points, 1 Ramondre Stevenson injury away from the playoffs.
Yes.
And it just happened like that. Monday night was a stab in the heart, but at the end of the day, I'm happy with what my team did. They turned it around. They got scrappy in the end. showed that we were not as bad as our record showed. We honestly should have been better. We should have been in the playoffs, but can't do much now. We did take Apple down with us, so I'm happy with that. Fuck you, Apple.
I'm gonna bitch too.
Yeah, please.
Tommy, why did you do that? I wanted to take him out myself.
Man, I wanted that.
I wanted Devin and I to have our rematch. I wanted that.
We'll get it next
And
year.
you ruined it.
We'll get it next year. We'll see.
No, I wanted to break your heart in the playoffs.
Everybody does. Everybody does.
Regular season doesn't matter.
You're right.
I wanted to do it in the semifinal and have our grudge match in the semifinal. Now, I gotta play Scott, Omar,
Yeah. Anybody else. Doesn't matter.
Tatani, or Brittany.
Shame.
Just doesn't get me up in the morning like you.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're too good.
No, I'm not too.
Yeah. Welcome to the playoffs, everybody. The final competition of the year was Week 14, Travel Back. That was the team that scores closest to their Week 1 projection, and the final winner was Scott. Congratulations. Off by 2 points of your Week 1 projection.
Crazy.
That's really good. You got the win, and you got your $5, so congratulations on that one. Yeah.
And we're on to next week, guys. We're on to the real playoff, the semifinals.
Real playoffs started this week. Shut the hell up.
No, this is like a wild card.
Right. Okay.
But anyways, always remember that giraffe necks are around 6 feet long. So to put that into perspective about the size of Devin.
That's, yeah. Thick boys.
Yes.
Long boys. Anyway, we will see everybody in Week 16. That is the semifinals. Bye.
Yep.